I'm gonna make a little video today on fence pliers. They're like 8-inch linesman's pliers. I bought these on Amazon. They're these plier pouches, really good. I've been using them in fencing for years, commercial fencing and residential fencing, chain link. When you get these pliers though, I bought a pair of these. You can get them pre-rounded, but the ones that they had in stock happen to be these. These are Seymour 10-inch, but they're really bulky and have a really big square head on the face of them like this, and they're really just kind of squared off. These have the little rubber mount handles on them. The dipped handles, I usually just take those off. I don't know if they slide off, but I think you can take a razor blade and probably just cut this off. So yeah, those are gonna slip off anyway. But anyway, I grind these down because they go in the pouch easier, they're lighter, and they have a better profile for bending ties and getting and making tight bends. These big square noses don't really do that. These are good for like beating stuff around and like smashing stuff and sliding the bands up and down, but really these are a little too bulky and heavy for tying all day, and all the edges are really sharp when they slide into the pouches. Actually, this one's honestly not that bad. Some of the pouches are tighter than others depending what you get. This is a Klein. That's a little tighter, so you don't really want to go down on the bottom. And they get stuck when you pull them out. So I'm gonna grind these down today. There's one thing you want to watch out for is on the nose of them. And I like this too, a pouch. I usually crimp the tip in there so that always just stays in. You can mark your posts and do whatever really fast. This is the Klein one. It doesn't have that. You usually have to make one. Anyway, what I usually do is I'll just start off on the tip of this and at least draw a circle of about how big I do want them to be in the end. And then everything else can come off. And so from the side profile, if you look where that circle is, I usually do a little, well, I usually don't draw it, I usually just look at it, but if I had to explain it, it's like a wedge off of there, so it gives it some profile. Back to the corner, and then I'll usually knock these corners off, and then kind of knock this whole corner down. So that'll get ground down right there, that'll get ground down like that, and then I'll even take this in, take that whole corner off of here too. Basically, we're gonna not turn them into needle nose, but I'm in close to it. Be a much more precision point by the time we're done, so all this will be coming off. So I'm gonna start with like the heavier abrasive wheel first before I go to a flap disc. Usually unplug this every time. Some people use the wrench, I don't. I just spin that off. And then, let's see, let's grab one of the stone wheels. Some Harbor Freight, 4.5 inch. It's a 24 grit. And so basically we're just gonna give a rough grind and kind of get the shape going. I usually just hold my lock and just give that a turn and then kind of hold that down a little bit, and that'll lock it in. And then let's see if there's a flap disc somewhere. I've got this other flap disc for later. 36 grit. And then I use that for fine tuning it. So basically what I want to do is take off a bunch of weight. It'll make it a lot more balanced for tying too when you get into the chain link and you actually go to bend some wire. It'll make the bend a lot nicer, because right now when you go to bend the wire, it's a big huge square piece like that and you try to get your tie in there and it kind of buckles sometimes. But it's going to take the weight off for tying. It's going to go into the pouch easier. It's going to feel a lot better in your hands and be able to have a different grip. So we're just going to start off knocking down the corners and bringing in the sides a little bit. But by the end, if you want to stick around, you'll see what they look like when they're finished, and I'll switch over to this polishing wheel, and then we'll do another test fit. So it's just basically going to be a bunch of grinding and shaping for a little while. But I figured I'd just leave this on and we'll just check it out as we go. Safety goggles. It's good to have that for eye protection. And we'll fire up the grinder and get some of this going right now. So the rotation of this wheel, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but the wheel spins that direction. So if you're on this side and it grabs, it'll want to throw it toward you. And if you're on this side, it'll want to go away. So if you're polishing toward you, that's kind of aggressive, but it'll work smooth for going this way, but it won't work good for coming off the end. If you're going off the end, you want to flip it that way. But depending where it is, it'll either throw it back at you or it'll throw it away from you. Usually stay kind of centered and just be kind of aware of it. I'll knock these corners down, bring the sides in a little bit, and then we'll keep taking a look at that tip, because once that tip is gone, that's gone. You don't want to go too far. So whenever I'm coming off a lip on this side, I'll probably be going this direction. Whenever I'm going off, I'll be going that direction. If you see me switching angles, that's why. And if you have any drawstrings on your sweater, probably want to get those out of the way. Probably anything flammable you want to move. And stick around for at least 15 minutes after you do anything with sparks or welding, like a hot watch, to see if anything sparks up or stays on fire in your garage. Try to get all the flammable fluids and gas cans and stuff out of the way. So here we go. Plug this in. So that's the first pass. It's kind of going around evenly. And maybe I'll take a fat shaving off of this. So there's kind of a pattern going there now, and kind of see the outline of that face. It's kind of like making a V now. It's closing in. It's kind of like a, what's that? So you want to watch that seam in the middle. So we're kind of getting there now. Start shaping it down and kind of rounding it down now. So they're starting to take shape now a little bit. Still a little bulky, so I probably have to take down the sides now and then start looking at that tip and then probably shave some off of this top. So more of that way and that way. So I usually start down at about the middle of these teeth, maybe about the halfway point, and just kind of taper the edge. Sometimes, I mean, it's all kind of custom how you want to do it, but personal preference on how far you want to take them down. I'm going to knock these down a little bit. Starting to shape up a little bit. Getting a little profile there now. Starting to round off, looking a little bit different. I'm going to start blending these corners in again. So trying to keep both sides relatively even. That still has a lot of meat on it. It's definitely got a better profile though. You can always take them down more, but once you take them down too much, you can never bring them back. So I think for a starter, I'm going to basically go with something similar to this, but I'm going to drop these edges off right here. A little sharp. I'm going to round these down. They'll slide in and out of the pouch really smooth. And then it looks like I'll just even out that profile on this side a little bit. It looks a little flat. Shaping up pretty good. You can see that this backbone is a little bit higher than that one just by looking at the diameter of it. So I think what I'm going to do is take this down a little bit more on this top side. Well, they're really getting there now. I think it's just the taper I want on it. Everything looks pretty smooth. Smoothed out. I'm close now with the rough cut, so I think what I'm going to do now is burn these backs down just a little bit so I can get those tips a little narrower, and then I'm going to whip out the flap disc. That's definitely a great profile. You can see how they taper in. It's a lot of weight. They're already feeling a lot more balanced. So let me unplug this really fast. And then just switch this disc over. This flap disc. And we'll fine tune it with this. It's a little more forgiving than that rough wheel is. All right, we're gonna finish this off right now. Let's see what it looks like. So anyway, that's them polished up. You can see all the corners are taken down. It's all round and smooth. It's got a consistent shape on the front for grabbing. It's much more precision now in case you want to grab and make a tighter bend. And now slips right in effortlessly, and that's what you want. You don't want to get hung up when you're using these things 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day. They fall right in there, and even in a tighter Klein pouch, they fit perfectly now. So I can keep going and take more off, but basically that's what they're gonna look like. We can throw them on the wire wheel real quick. polish up really nice and have a nice profile. They're a lot more lightweight now. So we'll pull out one of the other pair, and basically that's what the difference is now. You can see it's a lot of bulk weight off of there, and trust me, they're a lot lighter and they're going to be a lot easier to use. You can see that profile on them now. It's basically kind of took it down all the way around and smoothed all the edges out. But that side-by-side comparison, you can definitely tell how much of a difference that made. So basically, if you're ever into grinding your pliers down and kind of fine-tuning them, it's a great way to do it. That's the way I've been doing it for years, and it's been working really nice. Just figured I'd share that in case it helped anybody out. Want to modify their tools, get in, do a little more precision work, save some energy and some fatigue at the end of the day, end of the week. Those are the results. So basically, I think I'll leave these like that. And if I don't like them, I'll take them down a little more. So, got a few of these pouches and a couple more pair of the pliers to do. We've got this set to do. Got these for a couple of the co-workers. A job coming up. 7-foot privacy link, 1,300 feet. And we're getting all the pliers prepped up. We'll have the next couple sets done, but like I said, just wanted to share that video with you. I've ground a lot of these pliers down and I've never really ever documented any of it. So, there you go. Thanks for watching.